Welcome to section 2. We will learn pie charts today. So what is a pie chart? It represents a single series of data which is represented as a circular chart, and each of these slices, which are also called wedges, they represent a portion of the complete data. So in this case we are going to take 4 companies A, B, C, D, and we are going to take revenues of these 4 companies. Then this pie represents the complete revenues of all the companies, and each of these wedges or the slices, like it's in a pie, each of these slices that will represent the proportion of the total revenue. So let's import the matplotlib.pyplot as plt. And I'm going to take 2 variables, the revenue and the company. So this company has this much $1 million revenue. The function to plot the pie is plt.py, and you pass your single series variable, and this will plot a pie chart for you. Naturally it doesn't make sense. We have to give what are the labels for each of the wedges. So you can give the attribute for that is labels, and then you can mention which variable this labels will come from. So if you notice, this is plot anti-clockwise. It starts at a 0 angle and it is plotting the data anti-clockwise. There are attributes where you can set the start angle. You can also tell matplotlib if you want an anti-clockwise or a clockwise direction. By default it is anti-clockwise. Now as I said, each of this slice is a proportion of the total, and there is an attribute called autopct which needs to be given in a certain format within the percentage sign, and you can mention 0.2f percentage. Okay, this will calculate the proportion of each of the wedges. In matplotlib, these slices, they are called as wedges. This calculates the percentage. Since we have given a 0.2f floating, it's giving in a floating point. If you do not want after the decimal, you can just mention 0.0. Now suppose you want to highlight one of the companies by just exploding it out from the center. The attribute for that is explode, and explode is given in a list format, and you can say which of the slices you want to explode from the center. So let's suppose you want to explode this company Cipla just by a little bit, 0.1. Okay, and it will be shown. So if you see most of your finance companies and such other companies, they would use this kind of graphics to highlight a certain portion within a data series. You can also specify the wedge properties. It's a dictionary, and you can mention the edge color and the line width and many such other properties. I'm just going to show 2 of them here. So the edge color, let us keep it black, and then line width. Since it is a dictionary, we are giving it in a dictionary format, the key and the value. Okay, so these wedges, they will be in a black color with a line width of 2. then you can also mention the counterclockwise as false. By default it is true. Now you will see the graph in the clockwise direction. And you can give a start angle for this. So this is the 0th angle. Suppose you want to start it at 25 degrees. It will start at 25 degrees. Total sum, you can increase the size of your pie. Okay. And as we had seen in section 1, you can save this graph in a JPEG or a PNG format. The code remains the same, which is plt.savefig. Do it before the semicolon. Semicolon is like your plt.show. So you can do a save figure. You can give a file name, and this file name I have not given a path, but you can very well easily give a path to this file name. Since I have not given a path, it will be saved in my current directory. Okay, so this is as good as your last time. We had seen already this command. Now let's see 3 of the magic commands. Which will allow us to set whether a notebook is interactive or not. So by default, what we are seeing is inline. Suppose you want to open this window in this particular chart in a new window, you can do matplotlib.pyplot. Sorry, you just have to give a magic command, which is matplotlib, and say qt. So once you have given this command, now if you run this code again, it will open in a new window. Okay, and this is an interactive window. So you can select the pan. Okay, left button pans, right button zooms. Okay, so if you're just, I'm clicking with my left mouse. If I want to zoom, I can zoom with the right mouse. You can play along with this qt. The point is it opens in a new window, and you can configure subplots. We have not yet seen subplots. When we see subplots, we'll come back to this. Okay, and you can zoom this particular rectangle. Okay, if you want to just zoom it to a particular rectangle, you can do that. So this is an interactive window, and you also get a save function here directly, save figure, and you can save it wherever you want. Okay, so suppose now you don't want this, you just want it back to be inline. So you can give the magic command inline, and you can run back this, so it will just show you in the Jupyter notebook. Okay, now Jupyter notebook has one more magic command, which is called notebook itself. You would see an interactive window within the notebook. It would kind of be like qt, but it is not, that effective. At least I have not found it that effective. I'm running this code again. So let's do one thing. Since we had used qt, let us just restart the kernel and let us run the required. So this is my variable, this is the variable. I'm running this magic command notebook, and now I'll run this particular piece of code. So let me just zoom out a little bit. So you would see this interactive figure here. Okay, the same kind of buttons that we saw in the Qt. Now when you try to interact here within the notebook, so you can do the same interaction, but you see it is not effective, at least in this version of matplotlib. Maybe later on, it will get improved. To stop the interaction, you need to click this button here on the figure. So pie chart per se, the code is quite simple, and you can explore some more attributes. If you do a shift tab on the pie function, you can see there are some more attributes, whereas you can actually just say which colors you want. So I have kept the default colors, and but you can choose the colors for each of the company. Okay, that is something called as a shadow, whether it will give a shadow or not, and how big you want, just a radius one or not. You can just explore some of these properties, but the important properties are these ones in the pie chart. Okay, I'll see you in the next section.